All right. It's the moment you've been waiting for. Leonardo leads, Dr. C does machines. It's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, The Manhattan Project with Mecha Richter and PJ!
Thanks, LFK.
Yeah.
This is wonderful.
All right.
Yeah, I'm PJ.
Mecha Richter.
Murphagator.
Klaige.
Yeah, we're going to be playing some Turtles for you guys. This game's pretty sweet. We're going to be looking forward to about 35 minutes of panic. So,
Hopefully only 35.
yeah. All right, so if we're good to go, we'll do a countdown. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. So there's 4 turtles in this game, and all 4 of us are going to take one. Klaige and I have Mike and Raph, who are taking a seat on the bench today.
Yeah, they don't get to play.
Yeah, meanwhile, Mecha Richter's playing as Leo, and PJ is playing as Dr. C. They're selected. The characters in this game are pretty similar. There's only 4 attacks, and all but one of them are just the same for all the turtles. The special attack is the main difference and the most important attack for the run. That spinning forward roll attack that Dr. C's doing being the one for him, and that spinning in place move being the one for Leo.
Yeah, the absolutely absurd blender attack.
Yeah. And if Mike and Raph are on screen, Mike could have this giant mule kick thing that is actually the most powerful, but because of the way it works and because of how much delays after it, it's not as useful. Raph has a Psycho Crusher where he spins forward with his head attacking everything, but it doesn't do very much damage. The main advantage is it goes really far, which they don't need because they can use 2 players to cover everything.
Yeah, fortunately, we're able to just kind of stay on opposite sides of the screen like this. And so Raph's ability to cover horizontal distances is not really beneficial in co-op. Still, like, the biggest issue with covering distances is the plane shifting, because you move really slow between depth access.
Yep. And you may note that they don't have any health left, even though they haven't really been hit. That special attack drains their health. They can still use it when they don't have any health left, but it means that for pretty much the entire run, they're kind of walking this tightrope where any random enemy can just punch them in the jaw, and then they're done. That's their life.
And unfortunately, due to something we'll explain later, I can't die for like the entire run. Yeah. So I'm just constantly in panic mode.
Yep.
We are playing with friendly fire on.
As you can see.
Yep.
And now we have our first boss, and depending on what he does...
You take him, you take him.
So ideally, you'd charge to the left, and this fight would end really quickly.
Yeah.
Hold on. Yeah, so the reason why I killed Mecha Richter there, besides it being fun, is because we can force him to have single-player health. So when you play co-op, there are a few differences. The main differences that you would see are that you get a whole lot more spawns with 2 players, and that bosses have some amount more for health, usually around 25%.
Plop.
It's gonna punch, okay. So yeah, just dying right before Rocksteady makes it a safer fight, first of all, because he's gonna respawn with health. And it also means that he's going to have less health. Rocksteady's going to have less health, so it's going to be a quicker fight. Believe it or not, Rocksteady, despite being the boss of the first stage, is actually pretty difficult because he has a tendency to plane change to catch you. So we can take advantage of some of like the depth access advantages that some of our attacks have, which Murph can probably talk about. It's a pretty standard beat 'em up thing. But Rocksteady likes to just line up directly with you, and it becomes very difficult to fight him safely with 0 health.
Yeah, so to elaborate a little bit, the depth axis, different attacks that you do affect a different amount on the depth. So, for instance, here, if Leo were to do his spin special attack, he might hit an enemy that's further above him than if he were to just do his regular standing slash attack. Another thing about those special attacks that we didn't mention earlier is that the turtles are completely invincible while performing them. You can get hit kind of at the tail end of them or before you do them, but during the actual attack, they're safe. So
We good?
Yeah.
Okay.
so a lot of times they'll purposefully use them in a way where they go through an attack
Nice.
and kill whatever's attacking before.
Didn't die to
it-
helicopter.
The specials do like a bajillion amount of damage too, so we'll like exclusively do those to bosses.
Yeah, so for some perspective, the jump kick that we just did there and the normal weapon swing do 2 damage. And the shovel attack that we're using to kill some of the foot soldiers does 3 damage. I tried. Did my best. The specials from Raph to Mike, from weakest to strongest, are 7, 8, 9, and 11 damage. So the specials are incredibly powerful.
Yeah. So there's a lot of just kind of like general beat 'em up mechanics that you have to manipulate when you're doing a speed run. The main one is just knowing where enemy
get 'em.
spawns.
Okay.
Or you can see where
Thanks.
they're in position to kill enemies right as they're spawning. And
Not it.
D-pad, man. We just cleaned this controller yesterday.
What should we do for ground chuck? Should I die?
If you want to still.
All right.
Leave it up to you.
But yeah, so knowing where enemies are going to spawn so that they can kill them immediately is
Kill me.
the biggest thing. Again, using this mechanic to manipulate boss health. Once he's spawned, he won't just go up in health anymore. So
Good enough. Okay.
one thing about all the bosses,
I've got health, it's fine.
We're. That ain't gonna be enough.
Take him. Good. All right.
I haven't seen him like playing
Good
shit in
save.
a while.
Yeah.
So what we were trying to do is die to bring the health down to 1 player, and if we did it just right, he wouldn't go into that second phase where he grabs the pipe off the wall there.
Yeah, once he charges, he's locked into it. So you can kill him there, and it skips his desperation phase.
So this stage, they're going to perform a magic trick.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. One thing that they've been kind of doing this whole time is they've been manipulating
One more.
enemies to try and get them to attack who they want. But in 2-player co-op games, a lot of times the AI can be kind of
need
wild.
one
Okay.
And so they need to get rid of one of the turtles. So Leo is dead now. And now
Nice.
now Dr. C is dead. So they're just going to play the game like this.
So right now we've activated the ghost turtle glitch, is what we've been calling it. And this is a special variation of it, which we've been calling 0-player mode. So right now the game thinks that both players are dead. So it doesn't really know how to handle spawns.
It also means the AI gets kind of wild.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yikes.
Sorry, we can reactivate it on the game
Yeah.
valves. Uh-oh.
Oh, he's targeting me.
Okay.
Okay. So essentially the way they set that up was your turtle, when it dies, has this animation that
We're gonna
plays.
have enemies now.
Yeah, we are. You lead.
Has an animation that plays where they're kind of stunned and dead on the ground. But by scrolling the screen a specific way along that pit, they can make it so that the game can't
I don't
fit
want-
that animation.
I'll take it.
And instead of just
Can.
getting rid of the turtle or something like that, it just assumes that they couldn't have died there.
Forgot about these guys. Yeah, so the 0-player glitch, we would skip that entire wave that we just fought there.
I want you to fight Slash.
Okay.
So now because Leo died, he's alive in the game again, and that means the game can't really see Dr. C very well. It has some concept that there's something there, but the AI won't really target him.
Okay.
I said,
So,
Don't take health.
Okay.
You need to lose it.
so because of that, they knew in that fight that Leo was going to be targeted the entire time and just be able to go at it that way.
yeah, essentially the game constantly adjusts its difficulty and health values based on how many players are active. And usually it would be 1 or 2. But if the game thinks both are dead, it goes to a value that's not terribly
Okay, you
intended.
advance, I'm going to lock
so-
the screen.
Okay.
And they're going to reset up this glitch here with the same pit formation that they did earlier in the stage.
Yeah,
Roll it
because
as much as you can. Keep going.
Attack.
yeah, they do need Leo specifically to have the ghost glitch
Nice.
set up.
Yep.
So
Attack or something, just to get health back. Okay.
Okay.
So there's supposed to be a wave here that we're gonna skip.
Yeah. So now the game is back to quote-unquote player 0 difficulty.
Yep.
Okay.
So now this boss, you're going to be able to see a mechanic. Anytime that he does this, I don't even know what to call this ball and chain attack that he does with his head, but during that attack, he is committed to the animation.
All right, good save. Back on track.
Nicely done.
So yeah, all the bosses, when they have an animation like that they're committed to doing their attack no matter what, you can't interrupt it. And so as a result, they won't go into the hit reel that they normally would when you hit them, and so they get hit more often by the special attacks. So a lot of the bosses, you really want them to do specific attacks where they're kind of locked in place attacking, because it lets them get the most damage they can.
So I'm going to jump off the ledge here, and that cancels my ghost glitch.
Yeah.
So there are a few ways to cancel it. Number one is dying. That's the easiest way to cancel it, and the one that we want to avoid. You can also, like, if you fall off a ledge like that, or like other specific ledges, falling in a hole here doesn't do it, but like on the elevator later, it'll cancel it. Anyways, I want to cancel it because having 0-player mode makes things very difficult because the enemies don't know who to target, and they end up just like ambling all over the screen, and it's tough to chase them down.
It only skips waves on the 3rd stage anyways, so there's no point of keeping it.
Yeah. So now they still think that Leo is dead. So the game is proceeding as if Dr. C is the only living turtle. So we can now kind of take advantage of this, and I'm going to try and be, like, my role for the rest of the run is to be positioning the enemies in such a way that they're not going to be able to accidentally hit Mecha Richter. And his job is going to be to kill the enemies as they try and walk over to me.
Yeah, knowing where enemies are going to target in a certain way in a beat 'em up, especially a co-op beat 'em up, is really, really useful because, like we said earlier, if both players are quote-unquote alive,
Bazookas.
there's no way to tell when an enemy is going to decide to target one turtle or the other.
I was nervous. Bazooka Joes you don't mess with.
Yeah.
No.
And even there, like, because they were targeting PJ there, Mecha was completely safe to walk up behind him and attack. If he was in front of him, then he could be coincidentally attacked if they tried to attack
Yeah,
PJ.
they can hit me with the stinky gas or just swing if they want to.
Right, but since he's in a place where they're not going to turn around and look at him, so he's safe behind them. And they'll abuse that in the boss fights a lot.
Yeah. And this game also has a lot of
Luchadors?
basic counter AI built into it. A lot of enemies are programmed that
Stay
if you use
safe.
like the dive kick attack, they will just jab you out of the sky for trying it. So being able to have a turtle who literally is not affected by any of the AI's actions is a really, really big
We had a lot of problems with me dying on that last wave, so I just stay out of the way to just...
Yeah, some of these enemies are, so they have like a... I got it. Yeah.
He wanted all of you.
Some of the enemies are predictable, but some of them are just absolutely bonkers. And that purple foot soldier wave, we call them crazies because they do really unpredictable things and at very unpredictable times with no startup.
Yeah, even if I get like close enough, they can give me a mystery hug and kill me.
Yeah, the mystery hug is the greatest. Like if an enemy walks near Mecha Richter, sometimes they'll like automatically put him in the full Nelson and it just kills him with no animation. I got him. Okay, no namers. Okay, I'll take.
Yeah, this game is pretty generous about color coding what different AI and foot soldiers do.
Where's he? Oh,
Grandmaster.
man. He was ready for me. Yeah, those guys, the Grandmasters, the guys who throw the anvils, they can just like, if he's special, they'll just like wait out of range and then just throw it at you when you're
This guy's
vulnerable.
gonna come back. Nice, thank you.
Yep.
It's the subway dance. All right, so this boss fight is gonna look pretty simple unless I die. That's just kind of how it is. There's a loop here that I found that trivializes this, but it's a little bit tight. So hopefully we don't have an accident.
Nice.
Very nice.
So again, it looks really simple, but if I'm early, then the invincibility frames for my special are going to expire, and I'm going to get pickaxed. But if I wait too long, then he's going to choose to attack on his own. He'll only sit there and wait for me to take action for a short period of time. So it's not too bad, but I'm glad it worked out.
And again, because of the nature of the whole thing, and then using this special attack continuously, all these bosses, unless they specifically take a death in order to get health back, they're just at 1 health.
Yep.
So this stage used to be our least favorite. It might still be Mecha Richter's least favorite, but I really enjoy this stage now. There's some pretty interesting co-op mechanics in this, with just like handling how you have to scroll the screen. Like screen scrolling in this is one of the most difficult things that you can do in co-op. It's really, really finicky. And a lot of like the spacing on the enemy waves is pretty particular. I want to give a shout out here to the previous runners and current runners of this game. I'm using the Tom Vodova strat right now, which some people might recognize that game. He's one of like the earliest speedrunners. He did runs back in like 2003, like before emulators existed, before certainly the tool-assisted speedruns existed. And a lot of his runs were competitive for a number of years after that. So he used to run Turtles 3, and I think he's still the only one that's done a deathless speedrun of this. So he has a lot of like really interesting strats that we stole. Okay. Also want to give a shout out to Amquat, who is probably the single best player of this game. He's been spending a ton of time on this over the years. He's an incredibly good runner of this. He's done max score runs, low score runs, single turtle runs. He has the best time in single player for both versions. He's a super good runner. Unfortunately, we weren't able to use a lot of his strats because it's just such a completely different dynamic, but I want to at least recognize his contributions. Nice.
Nicely done.
All right, you scroll. All right, crazies are after this. Wait for him.
We have $15 from LolCam Alpha.
Okay.
Hey, Couch and Mecha and PJ, best of luck playing this gem made by Komami. Please don't let Dr. Com challenge you to yet another round of bad Jenga. I don't think the stream can handle it. Donation goes to PLC's Choice.
Forgot about these guys. I am going to grab the health.
Yes, you are. All right, so up next is Leatherhead, who's probably the hardest boss in the game. Well, besides Krang. Krang's just the unstoppable, but Leatherhead's a pretty tough fight. Fortunately, because we still have the Ghost Turtle glitch active, he doesn't know that Mecha Richter exists. So since Don's a little bit stronger, he does 1 more damage per hit, so we save 1 hit per every 8 of Dr. C's. I want to get as many hits as I can at the beginning, but once he kills me, I'm going to stay dead. There's 8. Now we just... All right, there's some bonus hits. So even though I'm dead, the game has no active target. The only target that exists is me. So Leatherhead is just going to be attacking my corpse on the ground and doesn't realize as he's taking damage from Leo. It's a good stage.
Yeah, nicely done.
So what was once the most difficult fight in the game is now pretty trivial. I didn't want it to be trivial before that fight. They've been known to surprise us.
Yeah, it's funny how when you're in a game with 1 health the entire time, how very small surprise changes to what you're expecting change the outcome very drastically.
Yeah, and speaking of very minute surprise changes, here's the Technodrome.
Yeah, you just spawned while punching. I just want to point that out.
I dive kicked.
Oh, that explains it.
You take left. So one thing that we have to be extra mindful of is dive kicking. Since we are playing with friendly fire on, it's obviously really critical that Mecha doesn't die, but I can also die and lose lives and just eat our resources. Most of the foot soldiers in this game are hard-coded to counterattack dive kicks.
Even if I dive kick, they can like recognize that.
Yes.
Yeah.
The deputy? All right, where's the sheriff? Is he later in the stage?
I think he's hanging out on the final stage.
The final?
Yeah.
Might be one
I'll
more.
get this one. I lied.
No.
I wasn't ready. My bad.
I'll take all the
Okay.
others. So yeah, dive kicking is the fastest way to cover ground. But when we dive kick, we are at risk of killing the other player through enemy counterattacks. Move up a bit. There you go. Cool. Yeah, there's a little bit of a seam there that we can take advantage of where neither of them can hit us.
So in this upcoming screen, they're going to take advantage of the fact that to do the special attack, they hit both buttons simultaneously, and I use the word simultaneously very loosely. There's a window after jumping to hit the attack button where it'll accept it as the special input, and so by delaying that a little bit, he's putting his turtle higher in the air and hitting those where he normally, if he did it just standing flat on the ground, it wouldn't reach high enough to hit those.
Sheriffs. Thank you. Yeah, and I also have to do that with Dr. C to hit the helicopters. I think you do too, but I think Leo has a slightly bigger window. I have to get almost max height to hit the helicopters with the special. I'm not fighting these.
Yeah, mine aren't nearly as bad.
So the things that we can do to the bosses with like taking advantage of the depth axis, the rock soldiers can do to us. They have extremely advantageous hitboxes. So it's pretty common to like try and special them and they just parry. They move like 1 pixel down and then just kill you. That's terrible.
Just shows up and immediately fires his gun.
Yeah, sometimes he doesn't even show up. Sometimes bullets just fly across the screen.
Yeah, the rock soldiers also,
I'm gonna shovel.
It's a pretty minor thing, but they do have a little bit more health than the foot soldiers, so they pretty much have to special them instead of being able to use like the scoop to kill them.
Yeah.
Yeah, since the special is a simultaneous attack, sometimes I can jump and like get hit out of it, and that's what happened there. Like I went to go do the special, but the electric barrier hit me before I can actually activate it.
Yeah. All right, we've got like 40 seconds for some donations.
All right, we have $200 from Madrigal. It says, "Don't break anything." We have $75 from Miss Pots and Pans Robot, who says, "Much love to Team PLC." Donation goes to Runner's Choice.
Not the time for that.
All right. Nothing to see here. Come on, Razar. I'm gonna let him kill me here. Nope. I'm gonna let him kill me. So Razar is, he's normally not a big deal, but he sometimes does this ice breath
These
dance
mind
and
games.
just gets out of the way. We want him to do the claw as quickly as possible so he can kind of do a similar fight to Leatherhead and a similar fight to what we're gonna see here, where he just targets my corpse and Leo gets free hits on him. Even though Leo's special is the second weakest, if you can get enemies to just stand completely in place, his DPS is just unparalleled.
Yeah, the other turtles, it can be a lot harder to get these double hits in with.
Yeah, it also has a ton of active frames on it too, so it's just kind of there.
It just hits a big
And his
area.
DPS is so good that it's not even worth me fighting.
Yeah.
Like even when I come back, I just tank the hits.
That used to be one of the hardest fights too.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I'll just stand on here and see what happens. And then when PJ came back, he was like, all right, I'll start attacking him. I was like, wait a minute. Let me try something. Stay still. Don't
Yeah,
move.
you just stay there and get yours.
Yeah.
Dr. C giving the thumbs up here. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, Krang's spaceship's in the sky? All right,
yeah.
good.
Oh, he's getting
They all
away.
look over.
Sweet.
All right, this is where Leo really shines. In single player runs, they almost exclusively use Raph. We'll sometimes switch, like for certain bosses, to a different turtle, but even in single player runs, they want Leo here because, I mean, his special lasts for so long and you're in such a confined space, you don't really need mobility. So, like the whole Mauser ball can just be cleared instantly. These platform guys, which take 2 hits, want to knock him off the platform. This guy might escape, just let him go. Okay.
Yeah, sometimes these guys spawn faster than normal.
Okay, we've got some more time for donations.
All right, we have $50 from Space Monkey. Says, I hope GDQ staff has someone standing by with a fire extinguisher for when the inevitable happens and Team PLC causes the nest to explode. We have $250 from Zek Harvey, who says, to PJ and Mecha Richter, congratulations!
Thank you, Zach.
We practiced on my cart, which was a bold move, and
Your cart is cursed.
it has some interesting graphical effects. But we still managed to beat the whole game using that.
Yeah, we just played through anyways. We figured if we can beat it while we can't see anything, we should be able to beat it when we can.
All the names for everything was messed up except Toka. That was the only one. It's like, you expect him.
They know not to mess with Toka.
Toka is a true champion.
Toka will send them through the ceiling. All right, you lead until the blue guys.
So one kind of nuance of running most beat 'em ups, and this one certainly, is that enemies tend to show up in waves. So like in this game, typically you'll see waves of 3, where there's 3 enemies coming out at once. And when you've killed all 3 of them, then it progresses either to the next wave or you're allowed to advance this.
Rock soldiers
I'm
stay
not
down.
messing with these guys.
There are some places in this game where it has a wave of like 5 enemies. So when you kill,
No, don't. Okay.
So when you kill like one of the enemy of the wave, another one will show up. Because it can only have 3 enemies on the screen.
You got 'em.
I don't want. I'll take top guy.
Okay.
So it's kind of a nuance that they want to try and clear the entire wave. Even if they kill 1 or 2 guys quickly, it doesn't really matter unless the entire wave is dead.
I don't mess with the Aladdins because they can give me the mystery hug.
Yeah, the mystery hug is pretty common from Aladdin.
And these guys, too.
And the purples.
Yeah.
You lead here?
Yep. This next section used to be really difficult for us until I realized that I'm completely safe from down here from the buzz beeps.
The buzz beeps are scary because you don't have much time to react to them.
Yeah, it's just the first one. After that, we can just special to
camp them.
Yeah.
The rooftop this is another really critical stage. This is really the last critical stage where we want to absolutely have the ghost turtle glitch active, because there are a ton of extra spawns with proper 2 players.
Yeah, and the final stage, for whatever reason, it's the same no matter what how many players you have.
Mm-hmm.
But we still want to keep it just because I don't have to worry about enemies going after me.
Because the end scene is better.
And that too. Hopefully we can show that off.
Now, everyone's favorite thing to advertise for, just foot.
Just foot. I don't want him. Thank you.
Yep.
I don't know who commissioned this giant foot sign for the foot soldiers, but they're
I respect
proud.
the confidence.
I mean, nothing says secret ninja organization like giant neon sign.
I got him. Okay.
Right?
Just be 3. Yep.
Reds.
And reds.
Where do you want me? Here?
Wherever. Come on down, buddy.
Yeah, once again, Toka wants to target Dr. C's dead body.
Yeah, you get it. Come get it, Toka.
And they like him to punch so that they can get the extra damage, but...
Nice.
Yes.
Very nice fight.
Well done.
Yeah, so he loses all of his invincibility frames if he does pretty much anything. Like when he goes to jump, I can attack cancel and he'll lose his iframes there. And when he does that,
the rapid punch.
Yeah, the rapid punch.
Yeah.
He loses all his frames and it's like a 2-second attack, so he just gets his.
Yeah, a lot of enemies have attacks where they drop their iframes. But for Toka, all of his attacks are really committal and very long duration. So it's especially good there.
He has one attack. Fortunately,
I want you to lead until Aladdin's.
There's one attack that we didn't see where he punches you towards the electric barrier. And there was one time where he punched me through the ceiling. I screen wrapped and got electrocuted.
Yeah, it was really amazing. It was quite a display of power. Okay. This is a long wave, right? 8?
I think it's just these guys. Yep.
Okay. These ones and then reds. I'll let you take him.
Okay.
Take him.
We have $250 from Dasterin. Shoutouts to Team PLC. Here's hoping the equipment can withstand the combined power of PJ and Mecha.
Helicopter.
Yep.
Nice.
Those are the other 2 helicopters in the game, so there's only 4 total.
The baseball stars?
Nice. Sliding to home.
Yeah, they reuse most of the enemies a lot in this game, and then there's a handful that just show up like once or twice.
Is it Belmondo's?
Eggs next.
Yep.
No, just leave it up. So we really like to stagger these eggs so that like one of them doesn't hatch early. This one we can do.
Yeah, so if you attack one of them twice, it groups them up perfectly, which is ideal. But sometimes they'll just like spawn to the far left or far right, or off screen, which have happened a couple times before.
Spear riders here. Stay back. Stay back.
Okay.
Nice.
So luchadors. They come in for the frog splash.
Yep. Rollers.
Yep.
And then crazies. Oh, buckets. That's right.
Might as well be crazy.
The bucket throwers are nasty in this game. This is the long way, right? Like,
yeah.
You.
Okay.
Pizza.
Yeah, that's a pizza
All right, that
rush.
was the pizza rush. That's one of the scariest parts of the game.
The Bazooka Joe's just sitting there waiting for you.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you want this pizza? Come get it.
Come get it. See what happens.
So since I'm still not being targeted, I just stand here and Mother Mother's trying to like slowly go down to attack PJ. And I'm just kind of sitting in front of his hitbox just to take out those Mothers as they come out. And
Nicely
yeah,
done.
easy fight.
All right. Let's give an extra big round of applause to Mecha because at this point, it doesn't really matter if we don't have Ghost Turtle Glitch because all the spawns are going to be the same from here till the end of the game. But he played through like the entirety of this game without taking a hit, which is crazy. It's ridiculously hard.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm like, it seems like I'm keeping my cool, but I'm constantly like panicking.
Same.
Yeah.
All right, there's pizza here. You take.
Because like the only time we can activate the glitch, we can only do it twice in stage 3, and that's it.
Yeah.
So-
The 2 times you saw it were the only 2 that you can do it.
Yeah. So after
Buzz
that,
beeps, buzz beeps.
after that, it's just
Rock
chaos.
filters.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, it's easy to like underestimate because you see them take hits once in a while, and it almost means nothing to take a hit normally. But when you ride your health to the 1, it matters. And well,
Even when I
have
have
more.
health, I'm still panicking.
Yeah, absolutely. Just like these guys that aren't even targeting him, if they still jump kick in and he's recovering from a special or he's in the middle of a shovel, they can just land on him and he's dead.
Yeah.
We are playing on the US version. You cannot change the number of lives that you start with in this. You can in the Japanese version, but not this one.
Well, there is a cheat code to change it in this one, but
Cheat code.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And there's also easy mode for some reason.
There's also extra hard copyright.
Extra
mode.
copyright mode.
So if you can like break the copyright symbol in the title screen,
Sure.
it just does some very bad things to the game. It's actually impossible to
One more.
complete because the first shredder is invincible. You can't actually kill him. And we did that by accident once. Back in 2013, we were
Rollers.
just like playing, and like Rocksteady took like 100 hits.
Yeah, we're
couldn't
like,
figure out why.
did that seem like more health? I don't know, maybe. And then we got to the Stone Warriors, we used a special, it didn't die, and he just clubbed us. And we're like, all right, yeah, something's not right here. This guy's jumping.
Yep.
The bucket, he could have had me for sure.
You should have died like 10 times.
Yeah, I know, I'm overdue. This guy knows.
I'm
They
not.
called in the expert.
Eye on the prize.
You need a turtle removed.
Exterminator's here. I got my girder. I deserve that.
Yeah, you absolutely did. All right, the top purple's
Yeah.
what are we gonna do for Krang?
I don't know.
1, 2. We're both gonna get. Excuse me.
No. No.
Excuse
You're way overdue.
Excuse me.
Just don't die.
I think I activated reverse copyright mode.
All right, so they're coming up on Krang.
Oh, that's good actually.
Okay.
They're coming up on Krang, and Krang is a menace, and the game knows it because he has his own theme. Krang has 3 phases here. The
I would
first,
say attack him until your health is low, and then I'll come in
Okay.
the first phase, he's gonna
like that. Yeah.
maybe get walked into the corner. I don't know where it thinks you are. The second phase.
Time for the panic.
So yeah, phase 2, Krang splits up and his pants do whatever they want.
I'll die.
All right,
You'll get an extra life. We'll be fine on Shredder still, I think.
That was good.
and yeah, so once again, manipulating single player health for Super Shredder.
Yeah.
He has to stay dead until he targets me.
Sure.
So Super Shredder has one attack in particular they really want him to do where he shoots lightning. Every other attack he has is moderate, but when he shoots lightning, he stands in one place for a long time. And gives him a lot of opportunities to hit him.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Come on, Shredder. Yes.
Wow.
One more, please. That's not it, but
There. Wow.
This might kill me.
Yeah, these chops and kicks. He can shoot a fireball too, but as long as one of the turtles close to him, he usually won't do that.
you take
That's
time.
Nicely done.
nice.
Very good.
What a fight.
35, 39.
Wow.
That's 12 seconds off our record.
Nice.
Wow.
That was pretty all right.
With having to set up the
That's-
glitch
having-
again.
with having to redo
Super
stage
Shredder.
3. Yeah.
that Super Shredder fight certainly didn't hurt anything.
Yeah, we got some mileage out of that fight, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was a pretty great run. I'm
Yeah.
pretty happy with that. One more shout out that I want to make is the Tasser, well, the most recent Tasser, Geesk. So this glitch, the Ghost Turtle glitch, was actually found in 2012, and no one knew it. And he stumbled upon this post in a Chinese forum buried somewhere, and then was like, hey, why isn't anybody doing this? So he brought it to the rest of the world, and it's like completely revolutionized the co-op run and the tasks. So it's been a huge find. I mean, we've dropped our co-op time by like a minute 10 after finding this, and we still have like another minute to go. So it's been a tremendous find. It's been great. Anything else? I think I'm good.
Shout outs to Taco Libre.
Shout out to Taco Libre. Yeah. All right, thanks so much for watching, guys. We're just getting started here. We've got so much great content, including the big boy himself, Cool Kid, up next. So don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
We have $250 from the Bearded One. So excited to see Team Poor Life Choices at SGDQ. Love the streams, love the runs, and love Doctors Without Borders. We have $250 from Grath. Bold move letting PJ break the stream at the very beginning of the weekend prime time. We have $15 from Daneno. It's awesome to see PJ and Mecha do a co-op run after so long. Can't wait to see what goes wrong this time. We have a $1,000 donation from John Bidwell. Says a Team PLC run is a great and or unfortunate way to begin a GDQ. Good luck to anyone who plays Jenga and the runners too, I guess. We have a $50 donation from Lycosa Day. Says, here's to a full showing of Team PLC and to the staff, making sure nothing lights on fire as a result. We have a $15 donation from Z in the Oasis. In the spirit of turtles, I thought I'd shell out some bucks. Oh, you all enjoyed that. Don't act like you didn't. Bad jokes, bad jokes. We have a $100 donation from Fubajube. Good luck on the run, PJ and Mecha. Awesome to see you guys help kick off the start of SGDQ this year. Here's to a week of awesome games run by awesome people. We'll be right back after a brief ad from Twitch. All right, now we're going to throw it over to an interview. It's Feasel interviewing PJ and Mecha Richter.
Hey everybody, I'm Feasel, and I'm here with PJ and Mecha Richter, who just finished their run of TMNT 3. What a run, guys. Thank you so much for running that game.
Oh, our pleasure.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to it. Already the first day, and one of my favorite runs has already happened here.
Wow, imagine that.
Right, it's almost like I chose to do this interview. That's crazy. So how long have you two been running this game together?
6 years.
Something like
I
that,
think.
yeah.
Well, maybe, I guess a little longer than 6 years. We ran it at SGDQ2019.
Goodness, do you even remember what it was like to start learning this game in the first place? How'd you get started with
It was
this?
impossible.
Impossible?
Yeah.
Like, just can't even beat
Yeah, it was, it's so hard to coordinate things in that game, and you're like, you either don't kill enemies efficiently or you're playing at 1 health.
Right.
But yeah, like I forced Mecha Richter into learning Battletoads and Double Dragon with me first.
Yeah, that was SGDQ 2012. He's like, hey, play this game. It's pretty fun.
Here it's great. You'll love it. So then to pay him back, I let him pick a game for us to run.
Oh, this was your pick, huh?
Yeah, it was my fault.
Yeah, and I played it as a kid, but was obviously terrible at it. So it was pretty tough for me to like learn all the spawns and remember how the enemies work and how the game flows. It was pretty difficult. Like especially when you're playing it here with no health, so you have to know exactly when the enemies are going to spawn and from where they're going to spawn or where you think they're going to spawn. And if you don't, then the enemy will just walk on screen and punch you.
So like the specials are kind of a double-edged sword in a way too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so for the longest time, we were just trying to play it as safe as possible because we weren't sure where all those spawns were coming. And then as time went on, we, developed a lot of good strats to figure out where everything was spawning, where we needed to go, where PJ needed to go. And
You sit in the corner, and I'll kill these enemies.
So did you have much one-player experience with the game as a speedrun? Or you just
No,
kind of picked
none
it up
as a speedrun.
specifically for co-op? Huh?
Yeah.
Why this game in particular? Just like lack of good NES co-op games? And you're like, let's
Pretty much, yeah.
Like, bottom of the barrel. We'll through this. No, or did something really draw you to this game in particular?
I guess there wasn't really any co-op runs for it, so just something new to try out. I know there was co-op runs for, games like Double Dragon 2, River City Ransom,
Chip and Dale.
Right.
This is another game too that really strongly benefits from co-op. So there are other, on SNES in particular, there are a lot of co-op games, but just having the second player there causes so much lag. You're going to be 40 minutes behind what the single player run is. So it's always attractive to have a game that would actually be faster and more beneficial to have two players as opposed to one.
Right. So it actually is faster with two players.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Omquat's best, I think, is like a 35, 30 something, 36 or 35.
Something like that, yeah.
So our co-op time is now faster by 8 seconds or something. But for a while, his run was just so good that it was better than our previous one.
Yeah,
but if done optimally, co-op would be faster.
It was all thanks to that one-player glitch, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go through the entire game as one-player health and enemies, because there's a lot more enemies that spawn in every stage.
Right, with two players.
With two players. So for a while, before we even found out about the glitch, we were dying in certain areas to just skip a bunch of waves. And in particular, the rooftop was one. Either me or PJ would die somewhat earlier, and it would skip 5 waves right before Toka.
Yeah.
And then Toka would spawn with one-player health, but thanks to that glitch, we don't have to worry about that. We get a lot more lives in return.
Sure. How did you go about routing this game, or did you just play it a bunch of times together and come up with a route, or did you actually base this off of a task or something?
No, the task is impossible.
Okay, it's not human doing.
No, I mean, so for every wave, you know how many enemies are going to spawn and when they're going to spawn, but you don't know where. So the task is able to kill every single enemy before it gets on screen. But for us, I mean, we could try, and they'll just appear 3 pixels lower and punch us.
Okay, so it's not a very predictable game.
No, not at all.
Okay, so
a lot of it was just playing. I mean, you have 4 turtles to choose from. So at the beginning, I think I was using Mike, and you might have started with Leo. But we'd cycle through a bunch of different combinations, and every time you die, you can pick a new turtle. So we toyed around with, okay, well maybe Raph is really good in this stage, and then I'll switch to Dr. C for the boss, or maybe Mike for the sewers, and you just kind of try it. It's so unpredictable, you can't really save state grind and get reliable results. You need to just keep throwing full runs at it and get very different patterns to see how things are going to work long term.
Sure. Did you do any net play?
Yeah, almost exclusively net play.
So how did because you two don't live anywhere near each other.
No.
Yeah.
Right. How did that go with the lag though? I mean, that's surprising that you could get marathon practice on net play.
It wasn't too much different for me. For PJ, it was a little different for the dirtbag fight.
Yeah. So TMNT 3 in general isn't a super input-heavy game. So it's not for Battletoads and Double Dragon, it was impossible. It was super hard to transition from net play to console. But for this, it's you're walking up to an enemy and you're going to special him. You have a 4.5 second window to hit this guy. Yeah. 2 frames isn't going to make a big difference. But the big things were chaining special attacks. So making sure that once the special ends, you can start another one. That was difficult to transition from net play to console. But everything else was pretty much fine.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, I really appreciated that run, and thank you so much for talking with me.
Oh, thanks for having us.
All right, let's give PJ and Mecha Richter a hand here. Thanks, guys. Coming up next. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Coming up next, we got Super Mario Brothers 2 being run by Cool Kid. I'm going to throw it over there to the front. Looks like they're almost ready. Thanks, everybody.
Hello, SGDQ. My name is The Cove. I'll be here for your next couple runs. And speaking of after the Super Mario Bros. 2 run, I do want to just wrap to say that we are getting really, really close to hitting that Donkey Kong Country 2 All Stages incentive. We are at $12,712 out of $15,000. Let's try to get those last $2,300. And speaking of that, we have $100 from A17 Tabris saying, greetings from work. Let's get DKC2 up to all stages. We also have $50 from Lars87. Greetings from Norway and good luck to all the runners.